Hello everybody, this is Lazarus, or as some of you ladies may know me as, Big Daddy, or Papi Chulo. I want to share with you some old gems that I found just recently. The first is an old spiral notebook back from 2005 when I was retiring from the military. I had this idea that I was going to do a comic strip at the time of me coming back towards the civilian. And right here was a couple of sketches of me after I was going to grow a little goatee or get clean shaving and come back and work as a security guard at the front gate. Other sketches here, I think this was Aquaman over here. And this is Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom. I was a big fan of that comic book. At the time, I had also seen Bernie Wrightson do some awesome illustrations for the Illustrated Frankenstein novel, and I thought it would have been great to draw a Solar story in that same art style. Over here was a character that actually was going to be me in the future with the comic strip I was working on. And I think I just didn't follow through because he reminded me too much of the father-in-law in the George Lopez show. So I didn't do anything with it. More sketches. I used to do a mini comic with my friend Floyd Choate. And this character I was going to use in the comic, and it was heavily influenced by one of the characters in the movie Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's all I remember now from that. Like I said, it was a long time ago. I should have written better notes. Here's two of the comic strips I was actually working on when I retired. The first one was going to have me sitting at the computer. This first panel was going to have the uniform, and I'm saying to myself, oh yeah, no more putting you on and saluting educated idiots, aka officers. Second panel is going to be on the computer still saying, I did my 20, time to kick back, relax, and check out some porn. And off camera, my spouse was saying to me, while you're on there, check out the job listings. And of course, my reaction to that. The other panel was when I finally went back to work for the government with goatee. I'm being trained by an active duty military member now, and he's telling me his name and how he's my trainer. And the first thing he's going to train me on is about random vehicle searches. And the rule number one, he tells me, is to make sure I stop all the vehicles that have a hot chick driving. Again, I know these are very juvenile. What was I thinking? I think that's why I never did the comic after all. Over here is another spiral notebook. Then I did some cartoons. This was probably 2015. I had just started drawing again after many years of stopping, and I was doing cartoons. I'd been talking to a friend of mine, so I'll call her D to protect her innocence. And a lot of these were stories she would tell me, like she was a guide for some people, taking them around the area. And I made a joke how she was probably driving and telling them how she had sex on the beach in this first drawing. Another time, she was telling me a real funny story. It's kind of erotic. And in the middle of it, she decides to tell me, oops, gotta go, and hung up on me. And I made this cartoon about her leaving me hanging. To this day, she never finished telling me the story. Another cartoon about, I think we were joking about me singing in the shower. And this last one, she knew I was a big Dallas Cowboy fan, and she was telling me how she could probably distract me from watching the Dallas Cowboys. And I did this cartoon telling her, oh no, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, nothing distracts me, even if she was to stand in front of me naked in front of the TV. Some pen sketches that I did, and that's those. This sketchbook I bought at Hastings in 2005 before I retired, and I just recently started even working on it. This first drawing, again, my friend D, and I did this probably middle 2015. Oops. And her and a friend had a house cleaning business. Being mature women, they said they were having a lot of competition from the younger women in their early 20s, and they were doing bikini cleanings. So I made a joke that her and her friend should dress up as French maids and rename their company Cougar Cleaning. Or they could also call it the MILF Maidens. They got a big joke out of it, so I did this for them. They said they could probably do it as on their business card or flyer, and they took it under advisement, which you know what that means. Caricature of Richard Belzer, who plays Detective John Munch on Law and SVU. Not a very good likeness. I joined a San Antonio art group last year, and one of the things we did is we went out to the San Antonio Riverwalk by the Pearl Brewery, and we did the Riverwalk. I don't normally do landscapes, So it was one of my early attempts at doing landscapes there. This was one of the waitresses at the local Chinese restaurant that I go to every weekend. It was my first time using Copic markers to color for skin tones. One of the other waitresses there at the Chinese restaurant, this was colored with design markers. I think it was flesh and suntan, the colors I used. One of the guys from the San Antonio art group I'm in. Another guy from the San Antonio art group. This was supposed to be a caricature of Flo from the Progressive commercials. I didn't get the likeness that I liked, so I didn't finish it. Name is Dan, another member of the San Antonio art group I was in. One of my favorite drawings here. This is my mom and her two sisters. They're all in their 80s, but they still enjoy a nice cold one. So they really like this drawing I did of them. The early Beatles. More random sketches. I was trying to play with some new Copic markers, again darker skin tones. This person actually saw at Starbucks. She was sitting there for about 30 minutes taking endless selfies of herself. My ex-girlfriend. I colored this with Prismacolor art sticks. My pride and joy fantasy, Halle Berry. If I win the lotto, I'm gonna make her my trophy wife. Halle, if you're listening, call me. Caricature of Amy Schumer. I colored this with watercolors, and I used a cheap Crayola watercolor set for this one, and it came out great, except for some reason I got this idea in my head to do this green like shading on it, which I think ruined the picture at the end. One of the hottest bands here in San Antonio, Rain on the Aftermath. Check them out on Facebook, follow them, like them, check out their music. They are awesome. I did a quick sketch of the late Fred Dalton, actor we all know from many movies as well as Law and Order. I went to a Dr. Sketchy's on Halloween of 2015. These were some of the people that were working there as the hosts. Again, me with some of the members of the San Antonio art group, we met at a local library here in San Antonio. The Sgt. Pepper incarnation of the Beatles. At the Dr. Sketchy, here's some of the sketches I did here. The model we had, she was dressed as Marie Antoinette. Her name is Panty Oakley. Check her out on Instagram and follow her. More drawings of Panty Oakley as Marie Antoinette. Still yet more drawings. I actually took the time the next day after and colored these with Prismacolors. And finally, more of the individuals that were at that Dr. Sketchy. His name is Steven. I think he was the owner of the Uptown studio where we had it at. Tara, I think she also worked there. And then we had Angie, who was the hostess there. She was dressed up as an executioner there. And that brings us to the end of my sketchbooks here. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I liked sharing them with you. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see y'all next time. Y'all take care.